anyone get that joke anymore? I think it's a lost art.
Okay, hello everyone. I guess we have saved the best for last. And we're too big to email. Large email attachment delivery system. My name is Alaa, Brad, Nick, and Jack. And we have developed a web-based application that allows users to upload, send, and receive large files over the internet. Every organization, whether it was large or small, it needs a simple and secure way to send large files. It needs compliance help, whether it was a financial organization, medical, and many others. It needs to protect their trade secrets and make sure that their files and information are secured and are in good hands. And there is our too big to email, which is going to provide all those organizations with a secure and easy way to send their large files over the internet. You might be asking, why too big to email? Well, sending large files over the internet has been always a problem. Whether you're using the email with the limitation on the file size or the FTP, could be complicated, could be slow. And mega upload, we all seen what happened to it when it got shut down. All the files got deleted and gone. So our too big to email took all those into perspective and provided solutions. Some of the example use cases with the sending file use case. Human resources sending new subscribers to insurance company. HR uploads the files they want to send and attach those files they want to send to the insurance company, and simply click the send button and the files will be sent. Request file use case, where engineers need the CAD files from the vendor. Engineer goes to the request file page, enter the email of the vendor and brief description of the file, and simply click the send button also, and the request will be sent. An admin performing an audit, or an admin can log in, check the logs, the details, check all the file transfers, and make sure that everything's going accordingly, and many others. We have worked as a team on our application to make it easy, manageable, scalable, and secure. Our application user interface will provide a user-friendly environment and a step-by-step process which will allow any user, even the ones with minimal experience in computer use, to use our application and have a successful file transfer transaction. User will be able to log into our website with a login name and login password. After a successful login, users can go to the upload page, upload the files to our server, and then go to the send file page, put a description of the file, attach the file they want to send, enter the email destination of the recipient, and whether it was one or multiple, and simply click the send button, and the link will be sent in the email to the recipient, a link to download the file. Also, with our application, the user can log in with a login name, login password, and go to the request file page and enter the email address of the person they want to receive the file from, and a brief description of the file, and simply click the send button again, and the request will be sent. And the users will be able to track all their file transfers by going to the transfer history page and check all that out.
We wanted it to be manageable. So we wanted to have so that admins can be able to see what their users are sending, where it's going, who's it going to. So admins also have the ability to override. So they can expire certain downloads from happening, just in case they needed to, and it would still stay on the repository on the servers, but they can also delete them right off the servers as well. We also wanted to make it so that it's automatic maintenance, so that the administrators don't have to always constantly be checking. We have it so that certain files will only last a certain amount of time on their servers before they're knocked off, and that can all be set and put into stone by the administrators themselves. They can also put limits on how many times things can be downloaded once they're sent out. We said reporting and trends, we talked about the logs. Everything that the user within the system does is reported and it's put into a log. And also we show the size of some of the files on the repository, what sizes they are, when they were sent, and that's all in graphs that we have on the first page. And pretty much we wanted it to be a set and forget for the administrators. They can set a bunch of protocols and be able to forget about it, and it'd be really easy to set up for an administrator as well. Scalable pretty much is going to be supports multi-tenant, so it's more than just one business. And it also can be more within that business. There can be an HR, finance, and that's for the service providers and IT services model. We'll go into that a little bit later. Secure, we have centralized authentication, HTTPS for end-to-end encryption. Well, we have hashing, prevent forwarding from download limits. activity, everything, like I said, is logged for audits and investigation, and we pretty much ran with this rule that simplicity encourages user compliance with policies.
Just another note on that security, they would also prevent SQL injection, which is a big thing, and session compromise. You copy someone's sessions.
And then the requirements, pretty much web server with SSL, PHP 5.3, MySQL. We worked with LDAP server, Active Directory, and a disk for repository, and we tested it with Chrome, Firefox, and IE9.
So if you have a SaaS model where you are hosting your own server, or a SaaS provider is providing their own server, they can provide a customer multiple URLs off of their own site. You know, maybe too big to email at sas.com/customer1. The LDAP authentication would then maybe pass along through a VPN tunnel to the customer's site and then pass authentication on to their LDAP servers or the Active Directory. Or customer 2 is Open Directory, Open LDAP. For customer 3, maybe they have eDirectory still. So same sort of concept, so we can follow this SaaS model. IT as a service model. Let's say you're an IT department for a large company and services are cross-charged between departments. Engineering may give a certain amount of money to support this sort of feature. So you can give their engineering group, or maybe a medical research group, or anybody, various departments, their own sites, and pass the authentication back onto your own internal LDAP servers. For our demo system, we have end users and administrators. We have our Windows 2003 virtual machine running for web server. We have an Active Directory server running on it for LDAP. We have our admins in one directory. We have our users in another, and everything's stored in SQL or on the file system of the web server. So now it's on to the demo. So I'm going to log in here with my admin or user account that's in the domain. Password restrictions in the domain, I don't think that'll be a challenge. So here, as a user, you'll see you'll have a repository of things that you've uploaded to be sent along. Things that you have requested to be sent to you will also show up here. You can view the details of things that you have uploaded. You can rename them as you need. You can upload fresh files. Give it a description, hit upload. We wanted this to be as simple as possible. You can see it refreshes right away.
There was also a cancel button that popped up, but since the file was so small.
We currently have it set up for 2 gigabytes as the limit, but
So you can cancel that.
yep. So I'm going to send some files to Jeff as demo. So now I can choose some files that I want him to be able to see and be able to download. I can type in his email. You can see that some of the stuff here is type ahead. Add them to the list and then send files. So now Jeff, if he opens it up, I'm actually going to send a request I want him to send me some files. So it does the same type ahead.
So now I'm going to log in to, I already have my email open, but these are the two, Nick Adams just posted some files for you to download. So this is the email it gave me.
So you see in the email here, it gives a description of the description that it shows, all the files, file names of their description, and you can retrieve them directly by clicking that.
So you click to this page, it's a download page. It gives me the file name descriptions, same thing in the email and the file sizes. So I go ahead and download this file, let's say, put in there, download it. This is decremented to 2.
So we're talking about the download limits. We want to be able to prevent somebody from, the insurance company, for example, send along the subscriber information is to prevent somebody from sending that email along to somebody else. So we have download limits that can be configured for the administrative interface. So as you can see, the person hit the download limits, the ability to download has disappeared.
So now I'm going to open the email that Nick sent me for requesting files. So he said, send me some stuff. So it looks about the same. So I said nothing uploaded. I need to choose my files to upload. On launcher. So I can upload, it gets put into there. I can upload multiple files as well. So no, it's the little waiting is for the uploading portion of it. I guess that was kind of a big file. But I can, once it's done uploading, I have to click done uploading. The files actually show in this repository. If I don't ever click done uploading, they'll never complete the transfer to the uploading process. So that's why we had 2 sections in our file repository. So those the send and request use cases. So now we're going to log into the administrator portion of this.
This is again using his domain-based credential as an admin account for him to log in.
Okay, so this is our reporting side of it. It was mentioned, presentation, number of file downloads, and the bandwidth really per day. We're going to go with use case of if I'm trying to audit what just happened. So this is our transfer log. And you can see, Nick, you requested some files to me right now, and then this was me uploading the file when I was on that request screen. So you can go and view the details. You can see the description of the description of the request, and then the file that I actually uploaded. And this was me, the JT month. So and they can go ahead and click expire on that, on the file or the file requested, and what that will do is that'll actually expire that page that I went to upload the files. So it doesn't, you can't do it anymore. So any admin can go in and look through it and just expire things. And so you can also go ahead and look at all the stuff that's been going on in the system. So every single transfer that goes on, every single action that goes on gets logged. We can load more here, and you can refresh it as well. So these get purged in the maintenance. This is why it's so long. These then the 5th. So it hasn't been ran in a couple days. So
yeah, we were talking about the expire period. So if I send that file to HR, the HR person sends it to the insurance company, we want that file to be available to be downloaded a certain number of times over a certain number of days. Anything that's beyond that, we don't want it available. So, and you can control that through the system settings. So the users can the administrators can override the download limits, update the log retentions, data retentions. You can configure their LDAP information, the directory repository that's outside the web root where everything gets stored, things like that. And the customer-based URL that's related to
Did you look
there.
at the login page? You have a special login page for each tenant because it's multi-tenant setup, and that app right there is just it gets appended to the URL, so there's your special login page. Because each tenant can have different LDAP information and different download limits as well.
So those are the 3 main use cases that we just wanted to demo today. We have others, but do we have any questions?
Yeah, I noticed that when you send the email, it just had a link that didn't require the login.
This was, so the recipient is going to be somebody that's not in the company. So,
So I could just forward that on and on and on in the email, because you lost all your security once you sent the email.
You're right, but you only can be as secure as your email.
but if we attach the same file to email,
No, it's just that you didn't require authentication of them.
we talked about it.
So someone uploaded something.
Well, I mean, the only other way to, make it secure is if you verbally, tell them a password or something.
Oh, no, I was just saying for the require the register the user. When you get all this beautiful OLAP stuff, let's use it, You got all the hard stuff from user authentication, so it's like, it's a good way to get to it.
Some of the other things we can quickly go over, I guess, is the super admin login, which is where you control your multi-tenants. So you can see that there are two different customers that are configured here, and as a centralized super administrator, you can edit these things, turn customers on and off, things like that. You can administer your super admins here, can't delete yourself, things like that. Any more questions?
So this is a service that could be, you have a couple different ways to install it, right? So it's not.
There's actually
just what's-
an installer page that we created. You just don't want time to go through it. It's a step-by-step, put in select buttons, put in some options, and then you're installed.
So it can be used behind the firewall, or publicly with other people, right?
Yeah. So, as you can see, descriptions, but it's a step-by-step. You have to put in each of the settings here, and you have to set the authentication, all that good stuff. But once you've gone through this, you can't go through it again. So anyone can't just go to this directory and go through it. You actually get a message saying you probably should delete this, but there is security that you can't go and just access the controls. Anyone can access it.
And are the files encrypted or anything like that, obfuscated or in any way on the back?
The files, we're dealing more with the data in flight problem instead of the data at rest. So we envision this as a web application that sits on top of a host, so we would leave the encrypted file system, encrypted things to the operating system.
Is there any file name relation?
Yes.
Like a file that controls everything.
What you see in the file names is actually that's strictly stored in the database, and they get stored in the server. And the thing is that repository is not accessible by from the web, so people can't just upload an exe from
Anything else? Thanks.